Hey guys, welcome back for another Trick Tip Tuesday. And for today's tip, I'm going to show you guys a way to use the completely flat anvil on your English wheel. So, you know, if you use an English wheel and you're trying to figure out why in the world you want a completely flat one, because typically when you're using it, you're trying to make compound curve in your part, and so you're typically using an anvil that has a radius in it, that sort of thing. Well, we have this completely flat anvil for the for these big machines that use the 3-inch wide anvils, and again, typically it's not something you use, but how I'm using it today is we're forming a panel that's going to be going on the back of this motorcycle chassis here to kind of act as a little bit of a wheel tub to be able to protect the rider and the body from getting damaged. And so we don't have a slip roll here in the shop to be able to use. So what I've been doing is pretty much using this English wheel and this flat lower anvil as if it were a little bit of a slip roll. Now, a slip roll typically has 3 different rolls on it to be able to put pressure on both sides of the other roll to be able to then create the curve in your part. But you can use an English wheel with the flat anvil to do a similar thing. So what I'm doing is I've got a decent amount of pressure. So this part of why I'm doing this on here, you know, instead of maybe just trying to even form it by hand or that sort of thing, is that this is 2024 90 thousandths thick aluminum. So this is some thick stuff, and it's 2024, which means it's incredibly strong. It has a lot of tensile strength and a lot of spring back. So even trying to, you know, bend it over your knee or something by yourself, like, it's got a lot of spring back in it, and you can't really do it too easily by trying to bend it yourself. So a machine is necessary. So what I'm doing here though is putting it in the wheel, and I've got a decent amount of pressure on it. And what I'm doing is, as I'm rolling it through, as you wheel it through like this, it is going to do a little bit of curve in it, but only in 2 directions, not 3-dimensional, as if I had one of the other radius anvils in there. So as I bring the part through, and as I start to pull it towards me, and I do this as I'm pulling it towards me because it's easier to then put the pressure on it, is that I'm pushing down on the panel to load the metal and force it to bend over that lower anvil. So I'm using the upper wheel to then put the pressure on the backside, and using the lower anvil to then create the bend. So I'm pulling it towards me and pushing down to force it to bend, and then I wheel it over just a little bit and I do the same thing, pushing it down, really forcing that curve into the panel, and going back and forth from side to side and doing that to then create an even shape throughout the whole piece. So I already had some curve in here, but you can see some of the lines back and forth, and this is more of a crude way of doing it. If you had a slip roll, it would probably achieve this easier, a little cleaner than that. But this is just getting the rough shape in this panel. So as I'm doing that, this has gone from completely flat to now having this curve in it. And this panel will eventually be going underneath here, but because I've got some other pieces in here, until I get it trimmed further, it won't be fitting. But that's essentially the shape we're trying to go for, is the underneath side of this tubular structure there. So yeah, hopefully this trick tip will give you some ideas on how you use your flat anvil in your English wheel for shaping something, even you know, something that you only need 2-dimensional curve in. So thanks for watching this week's trick tip, and we'll see you in the next one.